Okay.
This boy got put to sleep. Manny Pacquiao didn't have anything. So why Manny Pacquiao continues to bloviate to the public about a potential rematch just speaks of desperation.
We would like to welcome another special guest to the show. He's here to discuss the big upcoming welterweight title fight between Stephen A's favorite, Manny Pacquiao, and Jessie Vargas. We welcome top-ranked promoter Bob Arum to the First Take show. How are we doing?
Hey, good. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for being with us. Bob, I want to start with another fight, though. Do you think there's still a chance we could see a Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao rematch?
You know, that's really unfair to even talk about. Floyd has said that he's retired, and to speculate that he might come back, that's just out of order. I mean, it's really up to Floyd whether he's going to come back from retirement, and I have absolutely no idea whether he will.
Well, Bob Arum, I want to move on anyway because I want to talk about Manny Pacquiao for a second. He said that he was going to retire, but now he's back fighting. Why is that, and what is his ultimate goal?
Okay, first, Stephen, you have to realize what's happening here. What's happening here is something that I have never seen in 50 years of boxing. Manny Pacquiao was elected to the Senate in the Philippines. There are only 24 senators. 12 get elected every 6 years. Before he was elected, he promised the Philippine people that unlike Marco Rubio in the U.S. Senate, that he would make every Senate session, wouldn't miss one. So he's now on 15 Senate committees, and he attends every single session of the Senate. So that means that from 9 in the morning till 7 at night, he is a senator in the Philippines, and a very respected senator, I may add. And he trains for a fight, runs in the morning, and goes into the gym at night. Now, I don't know how he can do that. I don't know if it's possible. We'll see on November 5. He loves boxing. He wants to continue as a fighter, but I have never seen a world-class fighter who has a day job that takes all this time while he's competing at the highest level.
Bob, Max Kellerman here. Terrence Crawford was the fighter that a lot of people were talking about, assuming Pacquiao wins, and he's favored to do so. What are the odds that we see, given the fact that whether or not Mayweather says he's fighting, that remains there in potentially, at least, which is a huge payday. Given that that payday remains potentially there, what are the odds we see Pacquiao in against Terrence Crawford at some point?
Well, first, Max, let me talk about the Vargas fight.
Sure.
Because the odds started Pacquiao a 10-to-1 favorite. They're down to 5-to-1. Vargas looks terrific. Vargas is bound and determined not only to win the fight, but to knock Pacquiao out. I don't know who's going to win the fight, but one thing I'm sure, it's going to end in a knockout.
Yeah, Vargas is a solid fighter who's gotten better, even shown more power recently, but still Pacquiao is a 5-to-1 favorite at this point. Assuming...
Well, it's a 5-to-1 favorite because nobody who's setting those odds have been to the Philippines like I have, and to see the kind of workload he has, I really mean that. I mean, it's crazy, the hours that he puts in, and people say, well, you know, he's an athlete, so how can anybody take him seriously as a senator? But remember, Manny's been all over the world, and a lot of these senators haven't. So they look up to Manny because he has a world view, because he's traveled the world.
So, Bob Arum, you sound worried. Are you worried because you're worried about his schedule and how that may affect him? Or are you more worried because Jessie Vargas is being underrated to some degree in your eyes? Which one is it?
Jessie Vargas has become a terrific fighter. He has a trainer, Dewey Cooper, that has turned him from being a defensive fighter to being an offensive force. And when he won the world title, he knocked out Saddam Ali, who is a terrific fighter, was a member of the U.S. Olympic team, and he knocked Ali out cold. And let me tell you something, the way Manny fights and the way Vargas fights, if Vargas hits him which he's capable of doing, he could knock Pacquiao out. Remember, Vargas had Bradley out in the last round. The referee stopped the fight by mistake because he thought that the 10-second was the bell. Probably wouldn't have been able to knock Bradley out. There was only 10 seconds left. But what happens if he hit Bradley with that punch in the 10th round rather than the 12th round? He might have.
Vargas has been displaying improved power, not only against Ali, but also against Bradley, no doubt about it, and he's a good fighter. Assuming the favorite wins, though, Bob, is there a Terence Crawford fight in the offing in the not-too-distant future? How realistic would that be to be made? Terence Crawford, one of the pound-for-pound best fighters in the world today, undefeated American champion.
Right. And the thing I like about a Pacquiao-Crawford fight is that it would probably be held at 140 pounds, which is a more natural weight for Manny Pacquiao. He's really not a 147-pounder, although he's been campaigning as one for years. Crawford's a sensational fighter. But Crawford, on December 10th, will have a major fight, which you will be calling, Max, on HBO from Omaha, Nebraska, and will be announcing his opponent. He gets by that fight. Manny beats Vargas. I'd love to make a fight between Manny Pacquiao
and Crawford,
and
by the way, Crawford seeks out the biggest and the best. He only wants to fight the best.
That is correct.
But let me say this, guys. Well, Max is calling that fight. I'm calling a fight on November 5th. And I got to ask you this question, Bob Arum. Max brings up Terence Crawford. One of the debates that he and I keep having when it comes to Manny Pacquiao is, how come he keeps mentioning Terence Crawford? How come I haven't heard the name Errol Spence Jr.? I would like to see Pacquiao in a fight like that. What about something like that, Bob? Assuming he wins.
We got to wait. Errol Spence looks like he's going to be a terrific fighter. He really does. But he hasn't really proven himself. He hasn't fought for a world title yet. He hasn't fought some of the best fighters in the welterweight division. Can he possibly rise to the top? Can he beat a Garcia? Can he beat a Thurman? We don't know. Probably yes. But the truth is, he's a terrific prospect, but he's still a prospect. Stephen, he's still a prospect. Maybe he has the goods to rise.
Well, he's a contender, but I agree with you. He hasn't proven what Crawford's proven so far. But by the eyeball test, I think we'd all agree, eventually, if they're the same size, Crawford and Spence would be a tremendous matchup. In the meantime, Stephen A., I know you want to talk about Pacquiao.
Well, listen, I'm just looking at Pacquiao, and I'm of this mindset. As I look at Pacquiao, Bob Arum, I'm wondering what the goal is. Because like you said, this schedule probably is not going anywhere. And if you're worried about him with the schedule, assuming, again, he gets past Jessie Vargas, the reality is clear. He's going to need to be locked in and focused on boxing and not being a senator in order to beat some of those elite fighters that are out there. Wouldn't you say that?
No, because he's made a commitment to the Philippine people. He's a very sincere, dedicated guy, and his commitment to the Philippine people to serve as a full-time senator takes precedence over his boxing career. I had to fly over to the Philippines to meet with the president of the Philippine Senate to determine when they're going to take a recess and the only date we could get from Manny was November 5. And the only concession they would make to Manny's boxing career is the session will not start on Monday after the fight because he can't get back. You lose a day traveling over there. It will start on Tuesday. Tuesday, which is Election Day in the United States. We're all particularly great boxing fans and sportsmen will have gone to the polls and will elect the first woman president of the United States.
Bob, before we let you go, as we mentioned, Stephen A. will be calling that fight November 5th. How do you think he's going to do?
Well, let me tell you something. Because we are producing the telecast ourselves. By the way, Stephen, it will be seen by more people than watch the Super Bowl. 100 million people will be watching in China because Zhao Shiming is in one of their two-time gold medal, will be in one of the 100 million projected people. Now we have Stephen A. Smith taking the place of Max Kellerman. And everybody would agree it's a tremendous upgrade.
I think Tom just got sweaty and backs got tight like Stephen A.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. I beat Max up. I beat Max up on a regular basis here. I can't say I would do that there. I know my place, Max. I know my place, Max. That wasn't me.
Enough on this show. All right, listen.
That wasn't me, Max.
You still got it, Bob Arum.
I love you both.
Thank you. Thank you for making my day with that.
All right.
Thanks for being with us. Looking forward to the fight November 5th and Stephen A. calling it. Coming up next, though, Jay
I ain't know it's going to be 100 million. 100 million?
Don't pretend to be nervous. You're going to be fine.
The First Take, Your Take viewer contest is here, and we want you to submit your videos, win a chance to debate Stephen A. and Max right here on First Take. All you got to do is go to firsttakeyourtake.com, upload a video, your best sports debate, 1 minute, off today's topics, keep it clean, no music, team logos, trademarks, copyrighted material. 2 winners will be selected by our show staff, and you'll be here at ESPN headquarters in Bristol, Connecticut, schooling Stephen A. and Max, hopefully for my pleasure. Here's the latest.
You see, all it really takes to be in the conversation of GOAT is to be the undisputed best player in your given era. Meaning, for a select amount of years, there was no question who was the greatest player in your era. So it's actually disrespectful to LeBron James and his legacy to exclude him from that conversation.
The argument should not be whether or not LeBron can catch Jordan. The argument should probably be, could he catch Tim Duncan? He's behind Jordan, Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Bill Russell, Shaq, and Tim Duncan. How did he jump all these people?
I'm going to tell you what LeBron did that Michael Jordan didn't do. LeBron went back to his hometown of Cleveland, and you know what he did? With far less talent, back against the wall, he beat a powerhouse in Golden State Warriors with far less talent.
Yeah, what do we think, guys? My two tough judges here.
I like the guy asking the question about Tim Duncan and Kobe and all that. He makes very, very valid points in that regard.
Yeah, he makes kind of points.
But the one after him, I like the delivery. I like the presentation.
I thought that guy was the best of the bunch, but if your content isn't airtight, and I thought it was good but not great content, then your flavor's got to be over the top, and neither one was quite over the top, Stephen A. We had a couple better earlier, I think.
I got to admit, Max is a little hard on these guys, and I love it. I love it. I appreciate that. Listen, let's not let them off the hook. Let's not let them off the hook, Max. I mean, Max, if they want to come on, the show. They want to be on national television. They got to bring it. I like Max doing like that. That's actually one good thing I do like.
Wow.
I'm proud of you, Max.
And
I'm proud.
I'll continue to be nice.
There's always something.
We asked you earlier in the show to vote on Twitter. Has Durant made the Warriors worse? And you said 47% saying yes, 53% say no. So 47% of the greater American population thinks Kevin Durant
Temporarily, he's made them worse. Yes. Temporarily.
Stephen A., your thoughts?
People are smoking something. Oh, please, it's one game, one night. Something wrong with all those people, just like it's something wrong with Max. I don't even know what the hell they talking about.
By the way, everyone's going to be watching Westbrook tonight.
Yeah, what do you expect?
You know, well, they're going to kill him. Westbrook's going to score $1 billion.